Okay, so I have not been saying this in my previous video, so I'll say it now. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the like button. It really does help the channel out. I'm trying to get to 70,000 subscribers by the end of February. I don't know if I'll be able to do it. If not, it's okay, but I really want to, so help a brother out. Hit that like button, subscribe. Now, let's talk about Sonic the Hedgehog 2, a sequel to Sonic the Hedgehog. Now, I'm recording this video before we have the box office numbers for Sonic the Hedgehog, so I do not know if it'll be a flop or not. However, the projections for the movie do look good, so we're going to think optimistically here and assume that there will be a sequel to the Sonic the Hedgehog movie. Second of all, this video is going to contain spoilers for that said movie, so if you have not yet seen Sonic the Hedgehog, especially the mid-credit scene, you're going to need to really go see it and then come back to the video and we'll discuss what I want to see. I'm going to give you my top 5 things that I want from the Sonic the Hedgehog sequel, which I think is inevitable, but you never know with these studios. You never know. What can they do for Sonic the Hedgehog 2? Okay? Again, last warning, we're going to get into spoilers of the first film, what happened, the ending, etc., because it does tie into the upcoming sequel, whenever that is. Okay. First of all, the one thing I actually am not going to put on this list is Tails, and I'll tell you why. It's not that I don't want Tails in the movie. Obviously, I do want Tails in the movie. It's more so that we already saw Tails in the mid-credit scene, so there's no point in me putting it on my top 5 things that I want, because I know I'm going to get it anyways, right? So, we're going to get Tails. It's a guarantee. There's no sense in me even putting it on this list. Tails will be in Sonic the Hedgehog 2, just like he was in the Sonic the Hedgehog 2 video game. Also, this list will be taking ideas, a lot of them from the video games, of things that I want to see in Sonic the Hedgehog 2. Okay, 5 things I want in Sonic the Hedgehog 2. Number 5, Chaos Emeralds. We did not see them even hinted at in the previous film, but we did see that the rings allow you to go to different realms and different planets and whatnot, and that could be an easy way to kind of introduce this journey where Sonic and Tails and maybe some other characters get to go to other zones, just like in the video game, and find the Chaos Emeralds. Now, the way I would do it is I wouldn't do it to where they have to go through the special stages, even though those are fun and, well, they can be kind of annoying too, but they are going to be a good nostalgia trip. I think what they should do is maybe should throw an homage to that, but instead have the Chaos Emeralds be like Dragon Balls, where you have to find them like somewhere underwater, in the forest, somewhere, wherever they go to these planets and these zones to discover the emeralds. And I also think that Dr. Robotnik should be kind of the character that finds out about them and tries to get them for himself, just like how it was in the video games. It should be a fight for the Chaos Emeralds, if you ask me. In fact, I think they should have a multiple movie plan, Sonic 2, 3, 4, whatever, to sort of already have a synergy, already have a direction as far as where they want to go with the Chaos Emeralds. So I think that they need to be an integral part of the Sonic story, and that the balance of the multiverse needs to be on the line here, with Eggman wanting to get his hands on the Chaos Emeralds. That's number 5 on our list. Number 4 on our list, I want to see Sonic and Tails do team-up moves. I want to see them work together. I want Miles to be like his sidekick. I want them to have some fun interactions, and I want them to kind of mess with the human characters as well. This could lead to some good comedy. Obviously, they've got the voice and everything right for Tails. Sonic, Ben Schwartz did a great job. I think seeing them interact would be great. But also, I still feel it has to be Sonic's story. So have Tails be there, but I would not make it a Sonic and Tails movie. You could do that, but I would have Tails be there, but not have him be the centerpiece of the film. Even though part of me would love to see him kind of, get his moment to shine, which I think he will. I feel like for the sequel, it should just be like Sonic's story, but Tails is also there and he helps out. For example, that move where Tails can pick you up and spin his tails and, take you to places, that needs to be something that's done in the Sonic the Hedgehog sequel. So that's number 4. Number 3 on the list, I want to see Metal Sonic. I would love to see Metal Sonic be Robotnik's ultimate revenge. Like, oh, haha, you think you got me beat? Well, I've harnessed your power and I've created this. And it's basically Metal Sonic. Now, there is a difference between Metal Sonic and Mecha Sonic, and I would get this confused so much even to this day. But Metal Sonic is the villain from Sonic CD and one of Robotnik's most dangerous creations. And I feel like seeing Metal Sonic on the screen, I think would be fantastic. I would love to see Metal Sonic appear and have him be the antagonist, or at least the trump card for Robotnik. Maybe Sonic destroys, Eggman's other, enemies or ships or mechanical devices or whatever, his badniks, I guess you could say, throughout the movie. And I would love to see Robotnik show up in that little ship that looks like Frieza's ship. I would love to see that for the sequel. And Sonic beats him, and then his big surprise is he's got Metal Sonic as the ultimate final boss for the second movie. I think that could work. I think that would be great to see on screen. Now, number 2 on the list is going to be more characters. Now, specifically, I would love to see Amy Rose. She's great. Knuckles. We gotta see Knuckles in Sonic 2. You could start him off as kind of the anti-hero, helping out Robotnik. You could go to Angel Island if you want to. If you remember, Robotnik at the end of Sonic, the first movie, is trapped in Mushroom Hill Zone. That's where he's at. So, I love that, by the way. I love that Easter egg. So, that being said, with Mushroom Hill Zone being his ultimate, location, where he's at now, that'd be a great place to introduce Knuckles and have Robotnik sort of use him against Sonic for the first half of the movie until eventually they end up turning Knuckles into a good guy, and he and Sonic can work together for the grand finale of the film. So, I think it would be great to see Metal Sonic versus Knuckles and Sonic. That would be a great final battle for the movie. It's on some Dragon Ball shit, and I'm okay with that because Sonic is ultimately Japanese and a shonen character. He's not from a shonen manga, but he is a shonen character in that he's targeted for young people, young males and whatnot. So I do think that it could work really well if they do it right. So Knuckles, we gotta see Knuckles. And we have to see a good voice for Knuckles. Have him not even speak that much actually for the first few scenes of the movie, and then have him speak later on. We gotta see him use the punches. It's gotta be just like how it was in the video games and accurate to that as well. That's what I want to see. Now, many are probably asking, well, what about Shadow? I think, in my opinion, putting Shadow in the second Sonic movie, I think they should wait till the third movie, right? The reason being is because you don't want to cram too much into the second Sonic movie. Now, knowing these studios, they're probably going to throw Shadow and Knuckles in the second movie. I think that's a mistake. I think Tails and Knuckles and even Amy being 3 new characters that are kind of from the Sonic video game world, I think that's enough. Plus Metal Sonic. I think that's enough in my opinion. I think they could tease Shadow in the post-credit scene. You tease Shadow, then you bring him in for the third Sonic film. So that's what I think they should do. Also, some of the other villains from Sonic, and some of the other villains from the previous games, they should also be saved for the third film. I think that Robotnik and Knuckles working together, and then also Metal Sonic is enough for the second movie. I think the second movie should be a tribute to Sonic 2 and 3, and then the third movie could be really focused on some of the later stuff. Again, only my opinion. If you disagree, that's okay. That's what I want. Now, number 1. The number 1 thing we need to see in Sonic the Hedgehog 2. The number 1 thing we need to see on the big screen, ladies and gentlemen. Super freaking Sonic. We saw Sonic tap into that incredible power at the end of Sonic 1. We saw him power up and defeat Robotnik in a very Sonic Spinball-esque finishing move. We gotta see the Chaos Emeralds, which is number 5. Sonic gets them. Robotnik gets them first, uses them to power maybe Metal Sonic, and then Sonic gets the Chaos Emeralds, touches them, and becomes Super Sonic. You don't have to have the 50 rings thing. That's more so for the video game to make it more challenging. That's why they put that in the games. There's no other reason. It's not really a big part of the lore, even though it could be retconned so in the movie. I don't think it's worth it. I think it's better just to have Sonic touch the Chaos Emeralds, or even the Super Emerald if you want to introduce that, and if you want to do that, and have Sonic become Super Sonic. And then that will be a great finale, because a lot of people thought that we would see Super Sonic in this film. I was waiting for it. We did not see it, but that's okay because the story's not over. And seeing Super Sonic battle one of Robotnik's giant ships, or even Metal Sonic at the end with Knuckles helping him, would be great. Do I want to see Super Knuckles? Yes, but probably save that for the third film. Also, Super Tails. Super Tails is very underrated for me because I love how Super Tails has those little birds around him. If you play Sonic 3 and Knuckles and you got all the Super Emeralds, you know what I'm talking about. Super Tails would be great, but I think the iconic form would be Supersonic. And I feel like Supersonic needs to be in Sonic the Hedgehog 2. Tell me your list down below. Tell me 5 things that you want in Sonic the Hedgehog, the movie, to the sequel, and I would love to read your ideas. I'm sure we're gonna get some people who are gonna bust out some obscure stuff, but I want to know. Thank you for watching. Hope you have a great day, and yeah, I hope that Sonic 2 does come out, and I hope it's just as good as the first one, if not better. We'll talk soon.